Right, so the next piece that's done, sorry, that piece is done. Next piece we need is number 97. So this Sister Superior is all on the same sort of area, so it's quite handy. Backpack, don't need to show where that goes. It goes in that little hole there. There's a pin on the back. There's a hole, a little bit sticking up there. That's where it goes in. So I'm going to snip it, clean it, glue it, and then I'll come back for the next piece. I'm actually going to show you this one because then I don't need to show you the rest of them because they're all the same. So you can see that there. That goes in there like so. Now the next piece that we need, this is a bit of a tricky piece, is number 96, which is this one here. So we've just taken the backpack. That's the piece we need. And some of you are going to look at, what the hell's that? That's actually our arm coming out of a shoulder pauldron. So I'm going to snip it, clean it. I'll show you how it goes on. Right, so there's two ends to this. You got this end with a little hole on it, and the sleeve, and you got the flat end. The flat end glues in there. Okay, so she's holding, so her arm's sort of aloft in the air like that. Okay, so then obviously the hind's going to go in there with whatever weapon you're going to give her. So I'm going to glue that. So the next piece is 94, which is the gun pouch. Well, I've stuck some glue on this already, but there's a funny shape there. That is where it sits. I'll be careful not to knock the arm. Right, it doesn't go like that, but because the glue's on it and it's wet, it allows me to put it on and then just maneuver it into place, like so. Now this arm's going to be a problem. I've just noticed the other arm as well is going to be a problem, but we'll go through that in a second. So the next piece we need is number 95, which is this little tiny piece here, just below the heads. Again, you can see there's a hole at that end. That's where her wrist comes out of, and the other side's flat. Right, so I'll wait for a bit of glue on it so I can show you. This slots in under our arm there. Okay, and that's just gone off where it should be. Right, so the problem we have now is these two arms are wet. So if I'm trying to glue something onto it, it's all going to come off. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you the pieces needed and the pieces that I'm going to go for. I'm going to sort of head out as well, but I'm going to snip those pieces off that I need, clean them down, and I'm going to put them to one side. So in a couple of hours when this is cured and dried, the arms, I can then just glue them on. So the first thing we need to do is you need to decide what close combat weapon she's going to have. Now there's two power swords and there's a chain sword. Okay, the chain sword, sorry, these two swords, number 100 and number 98, was a chain sword. They both slot into that hole. There's a little pin on the end, yeah, that slots in, and there's one on that side as well, as you can see it. They'll just glue straight into the hole on this side. Now, so I can't put it on there because it'll come off. With that said, the power sword has 101. Okay, and the chain sword has 99. Now, where those two pieces go, they glue on this side. Okay, which makes sense because if she's drawing the weapon in this arm, she's taking it from this side. So there's those two options. The other option is 103 and 102. Where's 102 now? There's 102. Now 102 is just the wrist and a hand holding a holy relic. That piece has a little pin on the back there, glues into the arm here instead of the weapon, and the plain sword then glues where the sheath for the other two weapons go. Now it's a very interesting combination there. I don't know, because I think visually, I think the relic will look much better. and then the power sword hanging off of her, but the power sword on her as well, but a nice blue or something on it would look fantastic. I'm going to go with the power sword, so I'm going to snip and clean this, leave it with the model because I'm not going to glue it on now because the arms will come off. Take 101, which is this sheath for the power weapon, and I'm going to glue that on this side. Right, so the next thing to do is decide what ranged weapons she's going to have. Now she can have a holy bolter, she can have a plasma pistol, which is very, very cool. She can have a bolt pistol, again, which is very cool. She can have the crossbow, or she can have a combo weapon. So the combo weapon piece is this one here, and one of these guys. Should be 3. Metal plasma and the flamer. Okay. I'm not going to give her that. I was actually going to give her the bolt, but then I said no, I'm going to give her the plasma pistol. So I think it looks absolutely really cool. But the crossbow is now 108 and 107, and that piece just slots on top there. Again, they all have little pins, as you can see at the top, which just slot into the little hole. So I'm going to take the plasma pistol off, clean it down and leave it next to her, and I come back for the head for her. Okay, so there's 4 different head variants. I don't know why they've done this way, a little bit confusing. So the numbers are 157, 158, 159 or 146. So there's 159 there. There's 158. Where are we? The rest of them are scattered across this sprue, which is a bit... There's 146. Which is a bit confusing there. A little bit silly of doing that. Or 157. So I'm just going to go over 157. But in all honesty, you'll probably go with any head you want. Okay? You know she's in charge because she has the, you know, the power weapon or the chainsaw or whatever. But that's the head. So there's a little bionic eye in there, which is quite tasty. So I'm going to clean this off. Make sure that bumblebee doesn't buzz near me. Clean this off, show you how it goes on, because then I don't really show you the heads for any of the others, because they're all going to be the same. Right, so the head, there is a little ball socket at the bottom. The head just slots in there. Now just chuck it in. Get your mould line scraper, and just shimmy it around a little bit. So there we go. So now I'm just going to wait for the 2 arms to dry properly and then glue those in and she'll be done. So now I'm going to move on to the next one. Right, to make it easier to have on camera and to, you know, break up a little bit, I've taken the big sprue apart. Okay, just easy, just fold it and it comes off. So this one's going to be called the standard sprue because that's what's on there. And this one's going to be the winged sprue because the cherub's on there, okay? So on the standard sprue, the first thing we need, I presume it's on here because the rest of us on here, is number 18. Don't tell me it's not on here. Let me just find it first. Oh, I found it. It's not what I was expecting. I thought it was a bit of leg or something, but it's not. So we need 17 and 18, which is a really weird piece, as you can see. But I know when it goes on here, it's going to make sense. So just be careful when snipping that foot off there, because it's very the toes are very pointed towards the end. Right, so this is a weird piece. Be careful when taking this off and cleaning it, because that little bit in between has to stay. There's like a little rigid block, and that slots in there. So that just slots in there like so, and it gives you the body on top. Yeah, so I'm going to glue it into place and then come back for the next piece. Right, the next piece we need is number 19, which is this little piece here. Right, sanding sponge comes in brilliant for that little piece. But this is you'll be forgiven if you don't sand it down. Now, this big piece here, as you can see, there's a weird shape on it, and it basically slots in that little gap there. This piece goes on top of the bolt gun to hold the bolt gun. It's actually a chain. This piece is supposed to go in there. It's going to be a very fiddly piece to do. Again, you'll be forgiven if you don't get it right. I don't think that's fully in, to be honest here. But it looks okay. It does look okay. But what I have in there as well is I put the plastic glue in. So when the front goes on, everything goes on. If there is a tiny 1mm gap, 2mm gap, you're not going to be able to see it because there's going to be so much going on here. So that is a difficult piece to put on. So the next piece we need is number 20, which is this lovely piece here. You already guessed it from seeing what this piece is. It just goes over the front here, like so, and lines up perfectly. The shoulder piece and there, so you can't even see any mistake there. And if you do, it's not, you know, you're not gonna. No one's going to really care if you've got a millimetre off. Yeah, it's a bit too much glue dripped in there. Just get rid of the join line. I don't want to take away the detail for a shoulder pauldron. So there's that. The next piece we need is number 23, which is a backpack. I don't need to show you that because I've already shown you. Right, so the next two pieces are 22 and 21. So I'm going to snip those off and show you how they go on. Right, this is very straightforward. So I'll put some glue in there already. You'll see there's a flat piece there. That just glues in there like so. And the foot, you can see there's a funny little shape there on top of the leg. If you look in there, there's the same funny shape that just glues in there. Like so. Gives you, yeah. So I'm going to glue the leg in and then come back to my next piece. Right, there's 3 options for her now. And this is the crazy ones. She can have one of 2 different standards, or she can be holding, it looks like a ball. I don't know if it's a helmet or what it is, but it looks like a ball. Then let me show you those one first. They're 33, which is this here, which is a shoulder pauldron, and then 34 or 35, which is this one's here. There's a helmet. So holding a helmet, which is nice. So the pauldron goes on top there, and then that goes into that side. Okay. Then you got 2 options of 2 different standards. Now I'm going with this one. 2 reasons. One, it's just one piece, very simple to put on. It saves me time whilst, you know, doing this video, because otherwise you'll probably be looking at another 15 or so minutes to show you this one. But also because I think this is very, very cool. I love that. Absolutely. I can already see such an amazing ideas of colours in my head with that. But equally, this is just as good. But the way this one is, I'm going to talk you through how this one goes together because it's multiple part. You start with this piece here, which is 25. Okay. You'll take this piece here, which is number 26. And this piece at the back here slots in there. Okay. So you end up with it sitting on there like an L shape. Then what you take is number 32, which is this piece here. And that slots in the top there. Okay, number 27, which is the other little wing, this one, goes on the other side of the cherub. There's a, let me smacking everything. There should be a little head there, see it? Which is actually cool, really cool as well. Then what we do is we take number 28 and 29. They just pins and holes, they slot together nicely. And then you need number 30, which is a little tiny triangle piece. Where the hell are you now? There. That then slots on the top. Okay, so it gives you your chest. That then, see this little piece here? That then slots into the little gap there. And then this last piece then goes over the top. And there's your standard. Okay, don't get it wrong, they're both very cool, and there's so many different colour options you can do with this, especially with gold chest and, you know, metal framework here, or silver chest with gold framework. You've got the cherub as well with the skin and the wings. But I do love this. I do love this. I presume that's meant to be a skull of a saint. But I'm going to snip this off, clean it down, and this just glues straight in. Arm into the side there. So I'm going to glue that on and then come back to you for the head options. Right, so for a head, it's telling me numbers 147, 148, 149, 150, 151, 152, 153, 154. Now, in all honesty, any head will probably go on these sisters. If there's any heads, all these ones I'm looking at here, they're all together, they're all helmeted. These two are the ones for the heavy flamer, because they're little gas mask things on them. Now, the rest of the heads, as I was looking for the one for the Sister Superior, are scattered. Look, there's 67 there. Even though that's just saying to me that's not one that can be used. And the reason you're saying to me I can't use that one, because the bottom of that one has a pin bottom. Okay. Now, simple answer is you can snip that pin off and glue the head straight in. Okay. All these helmeted ones have like a little ball at the bottom. All the numbers I've read out to you, which are actually on this sprue here, have the rounded bits at the bottom. But basically any head will go into her. But the one with the pin, you have to just snip that off to make it fit properly. So the safest thing to do is go for any one that has the ball on the bottom. Okay, so take whatever head you want, glue it into place, and then we'll move on to the next person. Right, so the next sister, it can be built as a normal sister or a heavy bolter. Now, I don't want the heavy bolter in the squad. I want to take the heavy flamer. So I'm going to build her as a normal sister, but I'll run you through how to put the heavy bolter together. So the first thing we need is number 62, which is this lovely piece here. This is on the cherub wing sprue. There's 62, 63, and 64. Right, so there's two legs here. Now, if you click on both off and you go, oh, which one goes where? Don't panic, because one of them, this one here, has a little clip there. This leg has the clip, so that goes straight into there, like so. And the other one has a flat piece on the back, and there's a flat piece of leg there. So that just glues in like so. So I'm going to glue them into place. Next piece we need is number 61. As you would have guessed, it goes straight across the back. Let me drop in the model. There's actually two holes there at the top. So I'd imagine there's two pins on there, they just slide into each other. And then glue that to the base. Right, then it's telling me 66 and 65. I don't need to show you that because I've already done that. 66, again, I don't need to show you. It's a flat side that's glued straight into the under the pauldron there. Now, one interesting thing with this sister, the head slot is oval and has the little pin in it, so you can use pretty much any head. Okay, which is fantastic. So any head you want as well, just put that in there. Backpack and the other piece on. Right, next piece we need is number 68 or number 69. Again, this is one arm that's glues in the other side there. So I'm going to pick one of those. It'll probably be this one because she's throwing a grenade, which is nice. Clean it, glue it, and put a head onto her, and we'll move on to the next girl. Right, so if you're making the heavy bolter one, you need backpack number 72, which is this one here. You need number 73, which is this weird little thing here. Okay, and this glues just in the inside here. That little bit there. And you'll need number 74, which is this little chain of bullets. And that glues into the side here. Yeah, just under there it glues in. Then what you'll need then is 76 and 75. Obviously that glues straight onto there. Okay, very easy. You need arms 70 and 71, which are, where are they? There's 71 and there's 70. So they'll go this end and the top end there will glue into the side of the sister. Well, you don't glue into the sister, sorry, that's where they're going to go, but first of all you glue them into the gun itself. So 70, this one, glues straight into the wrist at the end. And 71, she's actually holding a little handle bit that glues into the top of the heavy bolter. And then what the instructions are telling me, when that's dry, they just slide straight on. Now, when it slides straight on, obviously the arms go underneath the pauldrons, and this part of the bullets connects with this part of the bullets. Okay. Now, that's a difficult thing to do, realistically, because you want to try and do it when the glue is still a bit playable, just in case you are slightly off. So I would put the heavy bolter together first with the hands, then glue the backpack together. Okay. Leave them to dry for an hour or two, then come back, glue the backpack on, because you'll have a line up where the bullets are going to go then, and then glue the arms on with the heavy bolter, and then you can glue the bullets together because they give you playtime. Okay, that's the best way to do that one. So what we're going to do now is go on to the next sister, but this sister I'm going to build with the heavy flamer. Okay, so the heavy bolter and heavy flamer, they both have different bodies. Now for this sister we need 114 and 113. This is on the same sprue as the sister superior was on. Okay, it's opposite corner. Right, so 114 just glues in there like so. Gives you that lovely little rope flying off to one side. The next part we need is 116. Yeah, it's 116, which is a tiny little leg. There it is. Again, this is flat, and it glues along the flat side of that leg there. So I'm going to glue that into place. Next one we need is 115. It's a very unique, but not very difficult to figure out how it goes in. That's on the other side. There's a funny little groove there, and there's a funny little hole there. Very straightforward. Next piece needed is 117. Yeah, I need to show you that because this goes straight over the top. 2 pins, 2 holes. Very straightforward. Right, it's told me to glue into her base, so I've glued it to her base. I'm going to have to leave her to dry now, because when I was putting the front on, the legs started trying to come off and all that. So I said, no, okay, let me just sort that out. Glue it to the base. I need to leave her to dry now because the next part is not fiddly or too bad, but it's just a lot of movement of the model, and I'd rather have it solid glued into the base before I proceed any further.